Great. So we're going to kind of forget about them.
I wanted to turn to you a little more.
And I'm going to look at my book a lot because
Okay.
I wrote this up, and now I'm like, Okay. So tell me a little bit about just things you like to do right now in your life.
Things I like to do. I love yoga. I love to work out. I love to be active. So really anything outdoors, paddleboarding, kayaking.
Great. Where do you live?
I actually live 2 cities over in Somerville. So
great.
Just right outside of Boston.
So do you do winter sports too?
I used to ski a lot, but it's not something over the last few winters I've really done much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So if you were to kind of take me internally into that space of pick one of those things and kind of, I want to feel it in myself, what it's like when you do that thing, whether it's yoga, paddleboarding, kayaking.
I would say paddleboarding.
Okay,
It's, for me, just being on the water. There's just something like very meditative about just usually like wherever I go, it's beautiful scenery. And it's something that I've enjoyed with someone else, but it's also, you're on a board by yourself. Yeah. So there's something really beautiful about being by yourself, but with someone else. So there's not always exchange, but there's that like beauty of being with someone.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So it's like together and alone. Yeah.
So it's kind of like silent coaching.
Yeah, that's great. So let's just imagine right now that you're on that paddleboard, and if you're comfortable closing your eyes, if you're not, it's okay. And just imagine you're there on the paddleboard. See an area maybe that you've gone to, or just that comes to mind where you're paddling. Maybe you're alone, maybe someone's with you, whatever you notice. And just tell me what it feels like in your body when you're paddling.
Very peaceful, calming, but also it feels good in my body because I know I'm getting exercise.
Are the legs activated when you're standing and balancing?
Yeah, the legs and the arms.
Yeah. Does your breathing deepen, or does it just relax? I don't know how hard it is.
It's very relaxing.
Very relaxing. Yeah. Great. Okay, wonderful. And you can open your eyes. So tell me now, that's a great resource. Any other resources come to you in your life, things you like to do, skills you have?
Cooking.
People, cooking. Yeah, what else?
I would say yoga too. I feel so wonderful when I'm practicing yoga. Yeah. And even after, and it's how I love to start my day. So it really helps me like just get grounded in the morning, and that time for myself just sets up my day really well.
Right. And cooking is a resource. Anything else in you? Any values, or you mentioned like being with someone else. Anything else just kind of come? We'll find more resources, but I'm just wondering what surfaces.
I think health is very important.
Health. Right.
Yeah. So I just feel like when I take good care of myself, then that's how I can show up best for other people. Yeah. So it's just really important to me to take good care of myself.
Yeah. And are there any people in your life that you feel like directly benefit by your example with health?
My husband.
Oh, great. I didn't know there was a husband. Yeah. He's a resource?
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully.
A great resource.
Okay, great resource. Good. Great. And he benefits because he eats healthier with you, or what else?
He does. We love to be active together.
Right.
So just we view health very holistically. So just emotional health, physical health, just with our eating. So it's nice to share so many just similar like passions and sort of values.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So we're going to add, just for them to know, we're going to add a 2.5 here.
Okay.
Because I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote this. We go with flow, kind of like when you're paddling. And, you know, something happens in the water and you have to get off and back on or whatever. So let's go back to that success zone of action taking, right? Yes. And tell me what about action taking kind of pulls you to it as something to look at more closely?
Because I feel like for like a pattern that I've found is that I have a lot of great ideas, but I think sort of the fear of not doing it perfectly has sort of stopped me from even taking action.
Great.
So it's sort of, I've been learning that it's just taking action is what's most helpful. Like, I won't know it all, and that's okay. And if I take action and I screw up, that's also okay. It's just part of the process. So it's been something for me that has been very paralyzing. But over the last, I would say, year, just taking baby steps has really helped me just take action. And it's something that I just want to continue.
You want to continue building. Yeah. So what would be kind of the next step for you in that? What would be a goal you have that we could work on together right now? Is there any particular thing you want to take action on, or a way you want to take action?
Yeah, definitely. So I actually just recently left a full-time job for a part-time position so I can grow my coaching practice.
Yay, yeah.
So an action I want to take is just gain more clients. So a way that I've just an idea that I've had is just going to either different businesses or like a YMCA or places where there's already a community where I could offer, say, like a free workshop or something, or like a talk.
Great. So you're very clear. This is wonderful. You know the action you want to take. You know the result you want. You want to gain more clients. And you want to go to maybe even more than one place.
Yeah.
And offer
studio
this.
Or, different, just different communities maybe that I'm already in and just, offer that. So.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So just be with that for a moment. Like, just imagine yourself doing that. Maybe the name of your talk or what you're going to say, and just think of the resource of being on the water, being alone, but also together, being very relaxed, but also enjoying the beauty and also feeling the health in your body and that you're also getting a workout while you're relaxed and while you're appreciating the beauty and while you're having the connection. And now think again about that, going and offering your services or maybe giving the talk. And I just want to see what else is there. What do you notice when you do that?
It is very helpful because I do get anxious when I am in front of an audience. It's
You're
uncomfortable.
doing a great job.
Thank you. But I think just not always having the right thing to say or not always knowing what you're going to say is a little anxiety provoking.
Yeah. So you know what I just noticed now is very naturally your creative mind gave you what your obstacle is.
Yeah.
Which is maybe not knowing the right thing to say. You've worked with that a lot.
Yeah.
So it seems like you're really doing really well with that thought, but it still popped up. It still wants a little bit of attention.
Yeah.
So also the nervousness of being in front of an audience, even though right now you're overcoming that, right in this moment. Yeah. It's incredible.
I think it's just like sort of leaning into that uncomfortableness. Like, I realize that the more I do it, the more comfortable I will be at it. So it's just about putting yourself in that situation.
And what else have you done in your life that was uncomfortable but you leaned in?
like knowing that there are certain challenges in my life, and rather than running away from uncomfortableness, really like digging deeper into, okay, like why does this not feel okay? Like why? So instead of like running away
Right.
from something that's very uncomfortable.
Can you remember a time as a kid or a younger person when that presented, like a specific time, a relationship or school or something, or a challenge physically?
Definitely at work.
At work.
Like, yeah.
And what is your work, by the way?
So I work in advertising.
Oh, great. Okay.
So I'm doing that part-time now,
Right.
which is great.
Okay. But at work, you've had challenges
definitely.
You had to lean into. And
yeah.
fill
It's,
out.
yes, definitely.
Right. And in your yoga practice, have you ever encountered that too?
And I think that has been so helpful.
Yeah.
So it's like getting in, I was actually explaining this to someone. It's getting into like a certain pose that brings up like anger.
Yeah.
And just not, it's just really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But rather than wanting to get out of that pose very quickly, you just actually lean into it. And that uncomfortableness then actually becomes, it kind of manifests into like a different feeling. It's interesting.
You might even like
enjoy it.
Enjoy
after
it.
a
It
while.
becomes a resource even
Yes.
because it allows you to go deeper or
Yes.
be more present with yourself. Or
So rather than wanting to run away from, the burning sensation, even sometimes just like a little shift is really helpful. Like just a shift in your weight or how you're positioning your body. So I think that has also been really helpful in life, that sometimes, even though something's very uncomfortable, it's like just kind of leaning into it.
I love that. That's such a great metaphor. Just leaning in
is more helpful than running away from it.
Yeah. And the other thing you said was just like that little adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
So like in yoga, it might be a physical adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
It might also be a physical adjustment when you're giving a talk or proposing giving a talk. It might be also just a little emotional adjustment.
Which I think what you brought up is really helpful with just channeling that calmness, that peace that I feel when I'm paddleboarding.
Yeah.
Sort of bring that into, rather than getting wrapped up in my head about not knowing what to say, it's more of just like find that, like channel that peace and calmness and serenity that I think will actually help when I start to get worked up about, getting in front of an audience.
And is that the main obstacle when you're in front of the audience imagining it, or is it going and proposing that you be in front of an audience?
I think it's not, like for me, I've always felt like I have to be prepared for everything. I have to know exactly what to say, and that's not always the case. Like sometimes just allow whatever it is to come. And I think
what emotion would that be, or what value would that be, allowing whatever it is to come?
Just like trust.
Trust. Yeah, that's what came to me too, but I didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
Trust
that it'll all work out. You don't.
Yeah.
Rather than having to like control the outcome, it's just allow.
Just to trust. Yeah.
Which is something that I just need to continue to work on.
Or just to experience right now.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just experience it right now. Let's just imagine you're there, small group with you, and maybe there's a moment of discomfort, maybe not, but you're going to lean in to whatever's happening. And then you're going to just make that choice to trust. And just see, what is it like in the body when you say, I'm making the choice to trust? Do you notice anything?
Yeah, it definitely feels very aligning. Like it just.
Okay, so aligning. So let's just do that together, if you don't mind. Like just. I actually want you to coach me right now.
Okay.
I'm nervous. Have 3 more days of presentation to give, and I want you to tell me what to do maybe take me through being on the paddleboard, take me through the other things, the other resources we just discussed, like the adjustment, the trust.
So feel inside your body right now. Just take some deep breaths and allow whatever is coming up for you, just allow it to unfold. And whether it's uncomfortable or whether, whatever it is, just allow it to be there and not necessarily, making any judgment towards it. And just continue to breathe deeply and let whatever wants to show up for you.
That's good. I'm feeling better, but I want to know more about, I want you to give me more of that peace and more of that alignment you talked about. I feel the trust more of allowing it. How could you give me a little more serenity too? You can do whatever you want to help me.
How about if you could imagine when either an action or an activity that allows you to feel that sort of
Yeah, I want your example. I want to be in a paddling like that.
Oh, okay.
I want that, yeah.
So just imagine that you're on a paddleboard and the wind is blowing in your hair and the sun is shining on your face and you feel very strong and secure and you feel that no matter what happens right now, whether it's a big wave comes up and knocks you off your paddleboard, you will just remain peaceful and happy and allow whatever to happen. And you're just enjoying the company of nature, the singing of the birds, and the smell of the ocean.
So you did it. You got me aligned. When you brought that in, I felt the two sides of my body. I felt the core strengthen. I felt aligned and centered. So I want you to notice how doing that for me, I don't know if you felt it too as you were doing it for me. You see how you can do it for yourself?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And I'm also wondering if that's something you could do for the groups.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a tool that I've ever
Yeah.
used, but I could see how
You did it beautifully.
helpful.
It really worked in me. When I was just allowing, I still felt some tension and stuff, but when you gave me the paddling experience, even the wave knocking me down, then I aligned. And it might be different for you, but it's good to just, wow, you have all these resources. So just to kind of note to the others what we just did, we talked about the obstacle, which was to trust, right? Tell me, what was that obstacle exactly? You got me so relaxed, I forgot.
It's just sort of like allowing whatever should unfold away, rather than like wanting so bad to try to, either control or like plan the outcome. It's just
Great.
Allow it to.
Great. Yeah. So you see that obstacle pretty clearly, and now you brought in your resources and you gave it to me, which was an amazing form of feeling it in yourself too. Because when we teach something, we're also really activating it in us, right? So often I wouldn't do that with I actually don't think I've ever done that on stage before with a client, have them take me through it. But I felt like it was more productive, actually.
It was helpful.
Great. So you brought in the resources for me. Now, tell me what what's new in you now, if anything is new, or where you're just at right now, how you feel about it.
Yeah, it's nice. Like, I do actually feel very relaxed up here, which if I sort of like self-soothe, I realize that it's helpful.
Okay, good.
So rather than getting in my head about, not knowing what to say or just not knowing what you're going to ask,
yeah,
is just allowing whatever sort of comes to my mind and respond, and however it comes out, it's going to come out. But I don't know, it feels good not to be anxious and
good.
in front of a crowd. So
Yay.
yeah.
So we could say that what's new is this kind of state you have, and is it, you mentioned the head, is the state in the head or is it somewhere else? This kind of
like the sort of anxiety with
no, when
front,
that's over, when what you're experiencing now, the ease, where is that? Because you said the thinking, I mean, you said in my head about that, but I'm wondering where the ease is.
The ease is like, I would say like in right around here.
Right around here is the ease.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to kind of connect the ease to something else in your life, whether it's something in nature or anything at all, is there anything that you could connect the ease with? Like it could be the water or an image of some kind.
I would say like a necklace, like jewelry, like
okay, great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, good piece of jewelry.
Yeah. So it can even be that you just imagine that jewelry and that's that ease. And then that takes you through a remembering of the paddling and the trusting and the leaning in. Yeah. Sometimes it's nice just to have something to tie it to, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's different for all of us, so there's never one way to do that, Yeah. Great. So what action would you like to take as a result now?
I would like to come up with some sort of like presentation workshop.
What would be the first step of that? Other than
making
this,
time to
Okay.
just sit down and be creative and brainstorm.
Can we do that right now? What's the time you want to commit to?
I would
When you're home.
say Tuesday, the day after.
Right, okay. The day after, you're not messing around.
No.
Okay. At what time of day?
Let's see. What am I doing on Tuesday? Tuesday morning.
After your yoga practice?
After my yoga practice. Yes.
Okay. All right, good.
Yep.
For how long?
I would say I have a couple hours in the morning. So dedicating an hour, a little break, and then an hour to do it.
Okay. And do you think maybe we could pick one result from those 2 hours, like a subject
Yes, definitely.
or a title?
It would be, just a subject, and then maybe just some key topics that I want.
Great.
bring
So
up.
kind of like a little outline.
Mm-hmm.
Not even an outline, but key topics.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, would it be like maybe 3 key topics? Don't want to make it too
3 or, whatever.
Okay.
3.
Would you
3
be
sounds
willing
good.
to send that to me? I'll give you an extra week.
All
A
right.
week from the
For sure.
Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And before you sit down to do that, can you take 5 minutes to, just like you walked me through that,
Mm-hmm.
the leaning in, the allowing, the trusting, and then the resourcing of the paddling, and then begin doing that work.
That's great.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you. So I didn't take very many notes. You're going to write that down now for
Okay.
yourself.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I
All
got to
right.
give you a hug.
Thank you. That was wonderful.
Okay.